All right, now that you're aware of SMART goals, let's create a goal and put it to the test. What we're going to do is take a goal and we're going to reverse engineer, create a formula or a set of formulas on how or what is needed to be done and measured to achieve that goal. So as an example, let's say you're a salesperson and you want to make $10,000 in commissions within 30 days. Okay, that's your goal. So $10,000 in commissions in 30 days. Is it specific? Yeah, it's pretty specific. Is it measurable? Yes, you have the 10K. And then is it achievable? If you're a decent salesperson, it's definitely achievable. And then is it time bound within 30 days? So it is. So it should pass that SMART goal test. What we're going to do is we're going to jump onto a spreadsheet and we're going to go through kind of step by step. What do we need to do to make $10,000 in 30 days? We're going to use this example in a home improvement type of a business where a salesperson is out there creating solutions for customers as far as their projects around the house.
So in front of me, I have a spreadsheet I put together to help you understand how to break down SMART goals into measurable components. So our goal is make $10,000 in commissions in 30 days. We were talked about this. It's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and it's time-based. All right, so I already broke everything down, so I'm just going to go over it. Otherwise, it would have taken a lot longer and the video would be a lot longer. So first line here, in order to make $10,000 in commissions, we need to have a formula for that. So we're solving for X. X is $10,000 in commissions. So what do we need to do? What does the formula look like? Well, it can be as simple as the amount of sales you make times the commission percentage you get. So in this case, what we do need are some other variables that are either set or that are assumed. So on the right-hand side here, I have all those variables defined. And as we go through each formula, I'll be talking about each one of those. In this case, we're talking about the commission. So I'm assuming, but this is something that you would know for yourself. If you're a salesperson, you know exactly the percentage you get. So then it would be an actual amount. So if we sell X amount, or if you sell X amount, and you multiply it by your percentage of commission, then you should get the commission you're looking for. So now we need to figure out how much in sales you need to do. So if you take X and you solve for X, what you will end up doing is you will take the amount you want to make and divide it by your commission rate, and that will give you the $100,000 that you need to sell. All right, so you know you need to sell $100,000 worth of product, service, whatever you're selling. Okay, that's still not detailed enough for you to be able to take some action items on. Okay, in order to get to $100,000 in sales, what do you need to do? Well, let's figure out how many projects or deals you need to sell. If we look at this, we'll need to create a formula where X number of these projects or deals will give you, here, I'll rename it really quick. So if you take X number of deals and multiply by the average deal price, that will give you the amount of deals that will add up to $100,000. So that's another variable we'll need. What is the average deal price? You should, if you've been in sales for a while and you've been selling within that same company for a while, you should know that for yourself. You should know what your average deal price is. If you don't know, then put an assumption and we'll use the assumption initially, and you'll see after 30 days, you will actually have an actual value. So then for the following month, you can plug in the actual instead of the assumed value. So we'll assume it's $5,000. So again, how many deals do you need to sell if the average deal is $5,000 in a month? And if you look at the formula, then you get 20 deals. So then we're moving on. 20 deals. Okay, so 20 deals is still not the final answer. It's not actionable. Like, okay, well, you got to sell 20 deals, but sometimes you sell, sometimes you don't. What do you need to do? What do you need to figure out that you need in order to make that? All right, so in order to sell 20 deals, you need X amount of opportunities. But the other variable that you need is your closing rate. So what is your closing rate? If you multiply opportunities times closing rate, that will give you the amount of deals. So again, we're assuming it's an industry average of 30% for like home improvement industry. But obviously the higher this is, the more sales you're gonna make. So if you really want to know how many opportunities it will take to close 20 deals, you take your 20 deals and you divide by your closing rate, and that gives you 66.7, or you can just round it up to 67 opportunities. Okay, so an opportunity is when you are able to present a solution and a price for the customer, and the customer either buys or doesn't buy. It does not include leads or prospects that are really not interested in the solution and don't even give you a chance to present the product and the price and the service. So you need, let's say, 67 opportunities. Well, where do you get these opportunities? They come from leads. Leads are basically potential prospects that become opportunities, but some of those leads are not that good. So then they never become opportunities or prospects. So then what we need to do is figure out how many leads you need, which if you multiply by the lead to opportunity conversion rate, will give you those opportunities. So again, we have to assume that between leads and opportunities, you convert 80% of leads into opportunities. At this point, we're assuming that. And again, later on, you will be able to have an actual value for that. So formula, very simple. You take your opportunities, divide by the conversion rate, and that will give you how many leads. So we have 83, we'll call it 83 leads. Now, depending on your company you're working with, in some companies, you have to generate all of your own leads. In other company, the company gives you all the leads, and yet other companies, there's some kind of a split. Let's assume you're in a company where the company provides 20% of leads, and you have to generate 80% of the leads. In that case, what you want to do is figure out that ratio and how many leads you personally have to generate, because the company will give you the other 20% anyway. So very simple. Out of the 83, 80% of 83 is going to end up being roughly 67 leads that you need to generate in the 30-day or in the month. Then you can go further than that. Okay, so now you know you have to self-generate 67 leads. How can you self-generate these? I've listed 3 methods here, but there's a whole bunch additional. So I've mentioned or placed in here getting referral leads. So referral leads are leads that you get from your existing customers. I've also added here door to door. So you can go, when you go to an appointment, you can knock on a few doors next to the person that you are there for the appointment and get some additional leads that way. You can go on social media and post comments reply to other people's posts stating that you do whatever they're looking for. So if you find somebody's looking for a new roof or siding or patio or whatever it is, and you're the one who sells that, you can comment on that, reach out to that person, and that becomes your lead. So those are just 3 out of so many ways to self-generate leads. You can go to networking events, network with people, find consistent referral sources that would feed you leads. There's so many other ways, but for this example, we're just talking about 3. All right, so what is the rate or the percentage of each one that you would generate? Like, let's say referrals. Like, how many referral leads are you going to get out of the 67? How many of them are going to be referral? How many of them are going to be um, uh, coming from the doors that you knock, and how many of them are going to come from social media comments and presence that you're putting out there? So in this case, these numbers you come up with yourself, because it will be dependent on your efforts. So I'm saying here 50%, and we can change it to make it more legible. 50% of those self-generated leads, I'm saying, will come from referral sources, 25% will come from door to door, and 25 will come from social media. These percentages you can change. You can make it like 50% from social media, none from door to door, or however you want to structure that. All right, so if we're talking about referral leads, what's the next formula that we need for that? If we need to get 33 out of the 67, that would be 50%. If we need to get 33 referral leads, how many customers do we need to talk to or get a hold of in order to get 33 new leads? Well, we need what I call a customer referral rate. So if you talk to X number of customers, let's say you talk to 100 customers, if your referral rate is 10%, then out of 100, 10 of those customers will recommend somebody to you. And right now we're assuming that's the rate. Maybe it's higher, maybe it's lower, depending on the customers and so on. But you want to have some number. Okay, so in order to get 33 leads, how many customers you need to talk to? Well, if you take 33 divided by 10%, you'll get 333 customers. So if that's the rate, you need to get a hold of over 300 customers that month to get 33 leads. And again, the ratio, maybe we're off. Maybe this is like 50%. Maybe 50% of the customers you get a hold of, they give you a referral. But we have the formula now, how to generate that. And then in order to get a hold of these customers, what do you need to do? You actually need to give them a call and get a hold of them, right? Call, text, email, message over social media, whatever it is, you need to reach out to them. So what we want to do is figure out how many times do you need to reach out to X number of customers in order to generate a lead per day, so that at the end of 30 days, you have the 33 leads. So if we look at this formula and we take 24 days instead of 30, let's say you're not going to work on Sundays, then you take that 333 and divide it by the 24 days, and that gives you the roughly 14 days that you need to, sorry, not 14 days, 14 times you need to reach out in a day to get to the referrals that you need. So 14 times you're reaching out to 14 customers, but then sometimes they don't answer, right? So if they don't answer, how many times how many attempts do you need to make? And to do that, we need to have this attempt to reach out ratio. And again, we're assuming here that 75 times out of 100, you're going to reach somebody. If that's the case, you actually will end up having to reach out 18 and a half, 19 times to the 14 customers. All right, so we have that. Then let's break down the door-to-door leads. In order to get 16.7 or 17 leads from knocking doors, we want to know, okay, how many doors do I really need to knock in 30 days? Well, what is the door knocking ratio? So if a door, if you knock X amount of doors, how many of them actually will become leads? So here we're assuming that 5% out of all the doors that you knock will become leads. In that case, what you would need to do is you would need to knock on 333 doors in 30 days to get the 16 or 17 leads. And then this is similar to what we went over above. You break it down into days. So you would have to knock on about 14 doors per day, 6 days a week, to reach that goal. And then lastly, we're looking at social media leads. Okay, in order to get 16 or 17 leads, you will need to look at X amount of comments or find X amount of posts to comment back. So if we do the formula here, we end up with about 28. We'll round it up to 28. So in 30 days, you need to post 28 comments according to the post or comment ratio that we have here. And again, all of these are assumed, so we'll need to verify these at the end of those 40 days. And then the last one is we're just breaking it down into the day. So you would need to post a comment, and maybe every 2-3 days you post 2 comments. So you need to post 1.16 per day in order to reach the 16 or 17 leads from social media. All right, so I'm kind of running through these formulas really quickly to save time. I will have the spreadsheet in the description, so you can download it for yourself. Last part that we would want to look at would be this here. So let me just go to full mode. You want to track your status of everything you're doing. So when you're posting comments, I created a table here. So each day, you have 30 days here. Each day, how many comments did you post or reply to? You want to track that. How many doors did you knock? How many attempts have you reached out to customers to get referrals? So everything here pretty much in green is what is under your control and what would be called a lead measure. Lead measures are measurements that you can take ahead of time that contribute to your goal. Lag measures are the results, things that directly you don't have control over. Like how many deals you sell, you don't exactly have 100% control over that. How many opportunities you get, you don't have direct control over. What you do have direct control over is looking at social media, finding posts that you need to comment, and you're commenting on them. So you have control of that over that, and some of those become leads. You do have control over knocking on doors, and some of those doors turning into leads. And then calling existing customers, you have control over that, and some of those customers give you referrals. So having a referral, you have no control over it. Calling a customer, contacting a customer, you do have a control over. So anything you have basically control over is your lead measure. Anything that you don't have control over, but you're trying to achieve, that's a goal, but that's a lag measure. So a quick little table here with formulas, everything's set up here. And again, I'll have this in the description so you can just download it and use it if you'd like. And then on the right here, these were our variables that we were using in the formulas. Some of them were assumptions. So if you fill out this table properly, then you will end up with an actuals for each one of those rates. And then you'll, in the following month, you would be able to use the actuals instead of using assumed values. So I hope this is going to help you. to break down your goals into manageable lead measures and actions that you need to take.
So hopefully what you've seen in the spreadsheet made a lot of sense to you. There's a lot of details in it, but if you go step by step and understand the process of breaking down the goal into lead and lag measures, that will give you more insight on what is actually actionable, what kind of measurements do you need to keep as far as the lead measures, and then the lag measures. The lead measures are the ones that are more actionable for you. So you want to stick and get those done that way. Thank you for watching this, and I'll see you in the next video.